Hi guys, it's Lana and welcome back to my channel for another video. Now, today and over the next few days, I will be taking you along with me as I attend the London International Horse Show. So first things first, we're already here at the Excel and we'll be watching the Grand Prix this afternoon. Super looking forward to it. It's like a tradition, isn't it, Mum?
It is.
Mum doesn't want to be in camera, so Linda the Legend is in this area. It's like tradition, we always go and watch Grand Prix. Tomorrow we've got the freestyle, which, you know, every dressage rider's favourite event to watch here at London International Horse Show. I will also be in the live zone, so I'll be interviewing Natasha Baker, Ruby Hughes and Lewis Carrier. So it's going to be really fun. I'm going to get Mum to video all of that. And then Friday we just get to have a chill day. So tomorrow's busy. Today is all about the dressage, and Friday we will just chill out. So I can't wait to take you guys with me. So we're just walking along now. Mum just spotted the charcuterie that's going to be happening tomorrow apparently. So we're just walking along now. We've had a little glass of champagne, caught up with my coach Jill, and now we are headed off to the performance that's starting in 10 minutes.
All of those that have been involved in this FEI Dressage Show World Cup, presented by Brett Wilson.
Now, it actually was a real shame about Emil's test because it looked absolutely lovely. Unfortunately, Emil was eliminated due to the horse having some blood in its mouth. So due to blood rules, he was unfortunately unable to continue. It was a shame because it did look really nice up until that point, but it just goes to show that you've got to be really careful, and horses will be horses and might sometimes bite themselves. It just is what it is, I guess. So next in the ring for Team Great Britain was Becky Moody riding Jägerbomb. Now, I was actually really excited for this test. Becky is a fellow Northerner, and actually me and Ella have competed against Becky and Jägerbomb before. She absolutely whooped our butts, to be fair. However, I can say that I've ridden against this horse. And I tell you what, the test was absolutely beautiful. She really, really did so amazing, especially on her London debut. As always, whenever you see Charlotte Dujardin ride in person, it's a completely different experience to seeing it on screen. So guys, you're gonna have to keep an eye out for tickets next year because hopefully Charlotte's there. I didn't get to see Charlotte competing here last year because she was obviously pregnant, so I was so super excited to see her riding Imhotep. I've not seen Imhotep in the flesh before, and let me tell you, the test did not disappoint. If you want to see the full test, that is also on my YouTube, but honestly, as a little girl, you can only dream to ride like Charlotte, so fingers crossed we'll get there one day. Although somebody's got to tell Ella that I'll need her to ride a Grand Prix like this. So even just from these few little clips, it's easy to see why the Queen of Dressage won. Although I did also adore Lottie's test. And if you want to see her freestyle, that's on my YouTube as well.
Your FEI Dressage World Cup Grand Prix winners, Imhotep and Charlotte Dujardin.
So day 2 of the London International Horse Show dawned bright and early. This is the outfit of the day. You can see them go for a very wintry theme. So we travel in by train and tube, and then we're just heading into the Excel now. Before you even get in, there's so much food. I don't even know what to have for lunch. It was so good.
Right guys, so I've just come to the Albion stand here at London International Horse Show and spotted Ella's saddle. I was like, surely that's still at home at the yard. But a replica has been made of Ella's saddle because everyone loved it so much at the Nationals that they've got one to tote around. I said I'd bring mine, but for some reason they didn't want to keep stealing my saddle off me. So I could admire Ella's saddle even when it's at home. But I thought that was so cool. So if you guys are ever at a show, see Albion, make sure to pop over because Ella's replica's here, baby.
So walking around the shopping village, there is a whole arena in the shopping village. So they had showing on here where I'm just there now, and the horses looked absolutely gorgeous. It was easy to just stop and stare for ages.
Look how beautiful that is from Joshua Jones. Wow. So I'm just on the bed down stand now. They've got some fantastic offers, so make sure to keep an eye out next time you see bed down at a show. Because I mean, today you can get a pallet of shavings and then have the opportunity to win back the full cost of the pallet of shavings. How good is that? And they've also got plenty of the bed down merch there ready and waiting. So I'm absolutely loving it, and I might see myself running away with some in a bit.
We then also stopped to have a look at a bit of dog agility that was happening in the shopping village arena. I love watching the dog agility because they are like little bullets. Look at him go. Absolutely going like the clappers around there. If only I could get Jensen to go that fast. Although I think Jensen would give it a good try. I mean, honestly, feed that horse Skittles and I think he would fly. I then had a look at the warm-up for what was the next class, and oh my goodness, it was clearly a Cobb showing class because, wow, it is Cobb Central. Cobb lovers, you know where it's at.
So I'm just on the MP Equestrian Jewellery stand. Look how beautiful some of the stuff they've got here. Like the passport holder is absolute quality. And let's just talk about the brow bands. Having precious metals for your horse's brow band, whilst yes, expensive, it's literally only the best for your best friend. And like, I know if Ella, if something ever happens to her, I'm getting something made out of her brow band, because then a part of her will always be with me. And it's a crown for your best friend.
So after all of that shopping, it was time to get lunch, and we had these chicken boxes. Wow, were they tasty. And of course, me and Ray the Goth had to do our best Grand Prix in the Pony Club Dressage Arena set out in the live, so it was so much fun.
Right then, so we have just finished going around the entirety of the shopping village, having a cracking time, and we're going to head in now to watch the under-25 show jumping, which should be nice and fun. We've got front row seats. Right then, so we stopped to watch a little bit. Good morning. We stopped to watch a little bit of the under-25s show jumping, which is actually really good. Ollie Fletcher got the first clear round of the class. We love a bit of British representation. So we are just heading across now. So I've just had a ring off of the organiser of everyone doing the interviews and everything, and she was like, Alana, how do you feel about also doing the interview for the Grand National winners, for the Shetland Pony Grand National winners? And I was like, oh yeah, sure, I don't know anything about it though. So we're just running across there now, and we're going to get a rundown of what on earth I'm meant to be asking them. Because from what I understand, that is a London international institution.
Well, the Shetland Pony Grand National was started about 40 years ago by the late Raymond Brooks Ward. Raymond, as you probably know, was the instigator of the London International Horse Show, which was previously known as the Olympia International Horse Show.
To be honest, your team now, presumably, you're used to it because you've done the Europeans this year, and then you've got the world. So presumably, the cycle is there in the system. Sort of, you know what you're to expect.
Yeah, it's been a really good few years. We're learning all the time. Every competition you go to, you learn new things, you see new ideas. You have to be so open-minded about it, about ways to improve. and yeah, every time we learn more and more. So hopefully that just helps to put the plan in place so we can keep improving.
And you mentioned you're the youngster on the team, but then you look at what Carl's achieving, the man who competed in 1992 in his first Olympics. I don't know what year you were, I can't remember what year you were born, but I don't think you were born at that stage. I mean, just how extraordinary is, and the influence that he has on you and obviously Charlotte and other members, it's extraordinary what he brings to the party.
Yeah, I mean, he's not only an inspiration to us, but I think he's an inspiration to the whole of the dressage world, for what he's done for the sport and for just who he is as a person. It's an incredible honour to be on a team with him, and yeah, you can learn so much. And yeah, I'm in a very lucky position to be on a team with Gareth, Charlotte, and Carl, who are all so amazing, and I can learn so much from their experience.
Right then, hello everyone, welcome back to the Live Zone. Today I've got with me Lewis Carrier. Now, you competed in the Grand Prix yesterday. How do you feel like that went?
Hi, thank you very much for having me. I was super pleased with Diego yesterday. He's a horse that I've had since 4 years old. He's now 15. We've been a partnership for 11 years, and when we first had him, Young Riders was the aim with him. So each sort of, we've done Young Riders, the Young Rider Europeans, we did under 25 Grand Prix Europeans, and then for this year to step up to the Senior World Cups and Nations Cups. I mean, he's just completely outdone what we thought he would ever do. I still feel he's getting better and better, but last night he was fantastic. He coped with the atmosphere, and I just can't wait to compete later with the atmosphere. This British atmosphere and British crowd is fantastic.
And this year, this was your London International debut. What did it feel like going down that tunnel into the arena?
Yeah, it's a surreal feeling. I was in Stuttgart a few weeks ago at the German World Cup, and there was a couple of other riders there that were telling me from Denmark and Sweden. They were saying how coming down the tunnel at London is just a surreal feeling, and it really, really was. It's amazing. It's quite long. It feels quite long, and it's just amazing. It opens up into this grand arena where it's just absolutely fantastic around here.
Well, I can imagine. Like, we all want to be there one day, don't we? What has your preparation been like leading up to this week?
To be honest, we've just kept on doing what we know, and nothing's really changed. Diego, we've just been chipping away at things that Stuttgart for us wasn't the best show, and there were a few little things we needed to do. Diego wasn't feeling 100% at Stuttgart, so there are just a few little tweaks between then and now. I think it's so nice to not have to travel to Europe, to actually be on British soil and to come to a massive event like this is amazing.
Well, we'll delve a little bit into your past now. How did you get started in dressage? What drew you to it?
So, through Pony Club and stuff, I did a bit of eventing. I did a little bit of BE when I was a little bit younger, so I haven't always just done dressage. But my trainer back in the day, Diana Fisher, she was just solely really a dressage trainer, and her husband and Di now, they work very closely with BEF, and Mark has been the world-class, the GB saddler for quite some time now. So I was very lucky to sort of fall into Di's hands. And she just pushed me down the dressage route.
She drew you to the dark side.
She absolutely did. And I just absolutely loved dressage from when I sort of started doing it. We're on the ponies, and my family amazingly invested in Diego as a 4-year-old. And since then, we just progressed from there.
And did you back Diego yourself?
No, he was backed. We found him at so Di was trained with Carl, and as I do now. And Diego was a sprightly 4-year-old, which someone had brought over from the Netherlands as a stallion, and he was very, very naughty, which is why he was being sold at Dan Greenwood's yard. Carl told us about this horse, and we eventually sort of ended up with him, and he was very naughty as a 5-6-year-old, but now he's he knows his stuff.
Do you feel like they need a little bit of spice though to get up through these levels?
Yeah, absolutely. Diego absolutely loves these big environments. He really is a showman, and they've got to have they've got to want to do it. You know, you've got to go down that arena, down that centre line, and the horses have got to love it. Otherwise, they're not going to perform at their best. And Diego absolutely does.
Well, speaking of performing at their best, I absolutely adore the frame that you and Diego ride in. I thought you rode a beautiful test yesterday. Talking about that more open frame, how do you feel like that translates to a competition environment?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very lucky. I mean, Diego actually has, which a lot of people don't know. I think, I mean, whoever, if any of you sort of watched yesterday's test, you probably heard that he breathes quite heavily, and he actually has a partially paralysed larynx, so he breathes very heavily, and it's something. Yeah, and it's something that over the years with vets we've looked into, and we've sort of looked into whether he needs an operation to sort of help his breathing. But I mean, now at 15 years old, I think it would just be too invasive for him. And I mean, he's at top level. He's competing amazingly at top level. I don't think I need to put him through. I don't think to put him through an operation to sort of help his breathing. I mean, we do everything we can. It's been years with us managing it. So yeah, I mean, I think the open frame helps him a little bit with his breathing for sure. But no, I'm very lucky. He's always offered this out and open frame. He's lovely in the contact. So yeah, I've been very lucky.
And is that open frame something you look for in the other horses you ride as well?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, especially recently, with everything that's happening with Helmstrand and stuff, everyone has to be careful about frames and stuff like that. And I mean, yesterday actually, in our comments, we've got some comments about him being too open in the frame, which.
Slightly disappointing?
Yeah, it was very disappointing to sort of see. I've never had those comments before. I've been very lucky. Diego is always super out and is always happy with his work, and I don't feel like I need to restrict him at all. So yeah, it was disappointing to see and read. So yeah.
Well, you've also said that you come up through like Europeans and going through young riders. Why don't you talk us through some of your early career and how you've ended up at London International?
Yeah, so when I had Diego, it was under the careful eye of Di Fisher. I then went to Hartbury College. We were there for about 6 months and we had some amazing training. That's where I first met Carl. And then I quite quickly realised that a really naughty 4-year-old is probably Hartbury's probably not the best place for me to sort of control him. So we went to the Arberg family, and I was training with Ferdy Arberg and Michael Arberg for about 4.5 years, and I eventually turned into working for and becoming their rider. And I got onto a European team thanks to the help of Ferdy and Mike, just made it in time back in 2018. So that was our first and last year of young riders. We just made it. And then, it was the scary bridge to gap between young riders and under 25 Grand Prix. I mean, a massive jump in levels. And so in 2019, we just sort of chipped away at the Grand Prix stuff and didn't compete much that year. And then in 2020, we came out and did our first Europeans under 25 Grand Prix in 2020. And then we did the 2020-21 and 2022 under 25 Grand Prix Europeans too. And then now in 2023 stepped up, and this is his first year at senior level, and he's just doing absolutely incredibly.
I mean, that journey is something to really admire. I know a lot of people will be wanting to follow in your footsteps. What has been some of the hardest challenges to overcome in making it here?
Well, there are so many, so I mean, it's so hard to sort of pick one, but just getting a horse to Grand Prix itself is just unbelievably
That's
difficult.
The biggest
so
challenge.
I mean, all 15 riders, all 14 riders tonight that are competing, it's an absolute achievement just to get here. I mean, training horses, it's taken, I had got Diego when I was when he was 4, sorry. And he started Grand Prix about 11 years old. I mean, it takes years. It takes years to get horses to this level, and I think a lot of people don't understand that. It takes a lot of patience to teach these horses to do these amazing things, and these horses have to want to do it. So I think the hardest thing is that the riders have to stay patient. It takes time. You can't rush these horses. They'll do it when they want to do it. and you have to work with them. Every horse is so different, and you just have to, you have to be a skillful enough rider to find how to help these horses understand what you're trying to ask them to do.
It's because I think there's a lot of pressure on at the minute to try and get up the levels as fast as you can. Whereas you've had Diego from a 4-year-old, and it sounds like you've really taken it at his pace when he's most comfortable, and you've overcome his medical issue. And it just sounds like you're really, really being nice and gentle with him. Is he going to be staying at Grand Prix for a bit longer? What's the goal next?
I hope so. I mean, Diego is fit and well, at the moment, which is absolutely incredible. He's 15. I fully aim to compete at Grand Prix again next year and hope to get here again next year. I think Diego's got at least 2 or 3 years competing at World Cup Grand Prix, and he's still getting better and better. I think one of the main reasons that it's taken a little bit longer for Diego to get to the level at 11 years old, which I think is a perfectly adequate time. I think 11, 12 years old is probably the normal time to get horses to Grand Prix, or at least it has been. And again, like I said, each horse is different. Some horses get to Grand Prix at 8, 9 years old, and they stay sound for a very long time. But I've been very lucky we got to Diego at the age to Grand Prix at the age he did. But he keeps improving. This is our first year at Senior Grand Prix, and I still feel like there's just so much more to give.
He's come out with such a bang, and like you said, there is clearly more in the tank there.
Absolutely.
I mean, do we have any youngsters coming through the ranks at the minute that you can tell us a little bit about?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm very lucky enough to have got the ride on a 9-year-old, which we've had for a few months, and she's almost ready to step up to Grand Prix. So next year, she'll hopefully step up to Grand Prix, and we'll be following the footsteps of Diego and beyond. And we have got a few 7-year-olds as well, which are showing some real talent for Grand Prix and who are super exciting. So yeah, absolutely. We've got some young horses behind Diego who will be even better than Diego. Yeah, Diego was my first Grand Prix horse to get to Grand Prix. So of course I made a lot of mistakes over the years, and I've had to sort of get over those and sort of, we've been learning together, me and Diego, up the levels, each level learning together. And I've taken all the experience of getting Diego to Grand Prix now onto my young ones, and I think they're going to be so much better.
Well, sometimes that sort of experience learning together, you just can't beat that bond. And I mean, it sounds like you have quite the selection for next year, because I'm guessing you're coming back next year, of course?
Back here?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
100%?
100%, yeah.
And then obviously starting, you've gone right through from the very beginning, where you've obviously stuck yourself straight into dressage. Do you have any advice for any riders here today?
Getting horses, or sort of from the grassroots levels up to Grand Prix.
Yep.
I think it takes a lot of hard work, and it is hard work. I think you can't fool yourself. It's not easy, but I think you've got to work hard, and if you want to do it, you can do it. People have told me over the years that Diego wouldn't make World Cup Senior Grand Prix level, and he's just got better and better, and you've got to say, no, I'm going to do it. And he can do it, and this horse can do it, and you've got to have the belief, because if you can believe that you and the horse can do it, and you have to have that belief and that confidence going down the centre line. Otherwise, you're not going to perform at your best. You've got, at the end of the day, it is performing, and you and the horse have got to perform and show off.
Well, speaking of performing, what sort of music can we expect from you and Diego tonight?
So this is a freestyle that I've done a few times. We did it at the Royal Windsor Horse Show back in the summer, and he did it absolutely incredibly there. So I'm hoping to try and replicate that. It's always difficult when you have a competition like that where it goes so amazingly, to try and then do it again.
Got to try and top it now.
Yeah, but no, the music is just incredible. It's a mix of the Disney film Tron. It's not a normal Disney film. It's the music is produced by and created by Daft Punk, who are known for their electric dance music. But Tron is really atmospheric, really intense. So it's going to hopefully create a super big atmosphere, and it's mixed with the Stranger Things theme. The new Stranger Things
theme. This sounds like a crowd pleaser, I must say.
It's going to create a really, I feel like it would really work really well in this kind of atmosphere. It's really dark, really bold, really intense, and I think it'll be awesome.
So it sounds like you're full on going for it tonight.
Absolutely.
Well, I absolutely cannot wait to be seeing this. So does anyone in the audience have any questions for Lewis? Oh, we've got one in the front. I'm just going to jump straight down.
Thanks, Lewis. That was great. Massive fan, follower on Instagram. Love following you, and I just think massive credit to you and Diego. You've really set the bar for a lot of other people to ride.
Thank you very much. That means a lot.
I know you talked about your music type, but I'm really interested in hearing how you came about choosing those songs. I'm trying to pull together my freestyle at the minute. Can't wait to watch and listen to it. Thank you.
Yeah, choosing music. I mean, I really enjoy doing that. Yeah, I mean, I watch a lot of movies, and to be honest, if there are themes that I really love, and from movies, I sort of try and sort of take them from there. I've had a lot of help with this freestyle. Back in the day when I was doing Young Riders, I actually created the freestyles myself on the Mac and on stuff like that. But now at a senior level, I feel like they needed to be produced a bit better, and so Equidance helped me with that. But Tron is a really great movie that I really love. And the music to it as well is absolutely fantastic, which is why I chose Tron. And Stranger Things is a really cool, a really awesome program. And I think the music again to that is great. And I thought mashing them up would be awesome. But yeah, over the years, I think just movie scores that really impact me and give me some sort of emotional feel, because I feel like you have to have some sort of emotional feel and attachment to your music. I think it really helps ride the freestyles.
Brilliant. Sounds like it's going to be really atmospheric. Have we got any more questions? Anyone at all? Oh, we've got one in the corner.
Lewis, what piece of advice would you give to a younger Lewis if you were 12 again?
I probably wouldn't change anything. If to a younger self, I wouldn't change anything that I've done since 12 to now at 26. But I think I would probably just say, you've got to take a little bit. I was listening to Lottie's interview earlier, and I think you've just got to take every opportunity you can. Any opportunity that comes up, you've just got to grab it. Sometimes you've just got to take a leap of faith. If it doesn't feel like it's the 100% right thing to do, definitely think about it. But if it's scary, you've got to take opportunities, and sometimes you've got to get out of your comfort zone. So I think, just go with your gut and take every opportunity and take the leap of faith. Yeah.
That leap of faith that we all want to take now. Apologies, guys. Right, is there any last questions before we finish with Lewis for the day and we let him prepare for tonight? No? Nobody else? Right then, Lewis, thank you so much for that interview. I know I'm going to be taking loads of your advice home with me, and I can only wish you the best of luck for this evening, and a brilliant well done for yesterday.
Thank you very much, and thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
We get a round of applause. Hello everyone, welcome back to the live zone here at London International Horse Show. Today I am with Natasha Baker. Natasha, it's so lovely to see you.
And it's so good to be here. Thanks for having me.
So Natasha, I know that we might be prepping for the Paralympics. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the preparation that goes into that?
Well, my preparation is probably slightly different this year to what it has been in previous years because I'm a new mum. So I gave birth to my son 7 months ago. So trying to balance being a mum and being a rider. But I'm pretty much coming back into work now, coming back into fitness. Back riding Lottie, which is just so lovely. I really miss riding when I was pregnant. And then I will pretty much start competing again in probably February, March next year. We've got some qualifying events that I'll have to go and compete at, and then qualification finishes in July, and then we find out whether we're on the team for Paris or whether we didn't make it, so fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. So is that the selection process then for the Paralympics? You've got to get qualified at certain shows?
Yes, that's it. So we have a selection policy and we have a selection panel, so we can chat to the panel about what events they would like to see us in, and then we kind of make our plan of our year. So pretty much made our plan already. Obviously with horses it has to be flexible. You never know what's going to happen, and then we'll go to those competitions, and they like to see us up against not only other British riders but obviously international riders as well.
And speaking of the Paralympics, I know you've got quite a few golds under your belt at this point.
I'm very lucky.
What was it like competing at London, your home country, representing your home country? Can you describe that feeling to us?
Do you know what? I don't actually think I can, because it was beyond words. Like, getting the call up for my first Paralympics, I wanted to go be a Paralympian since I was 10 years old. That was my dream. After watching Lee Pearson become a Paralympian in Sydney in 2000, and I said to my mum and dad, I want to win a gold medal in that one day. And so getting the call up for my first Paralympics was incredible, but being a home games was just so special. I felt incredibly honoured to be able to represent London and be a London girl in my home country. It was just awesome, and to win a medal on top of that was just the icing on the cake and the cherry on top and everything else as well.
I can imagine. And you said that seeing Lee Pearson, Sir Lee Pearson, riding at the Paralympics in 2000 was what really inspired you. How did it feel to then be on the team with him?
That was amazing. You know, he'd always been my hero growing up, and then I was very fortunate that I actually met him soon after the Paralympics in Sydney. He came to do a demo at our RDA group, and he offered for me to hold his medal, and I said that I was this sassy. I said I didn't want to hold a gold medal until it was my own. So yeah, I could get away with it when I was 10. And then I've been friends with him ever since, and he has been such an inspiration. But you know, now to be a friend as well, I feel very lucky to be on a team with him.
And speaking about meeting him at the RDA when you were 10, what has the journey been like? Going from, I believe I read that you started at the RDA riding when you were 9. What's the journey been like coming from there to the Paralympics, building up to the next one now?
I mean, I've always been horsey, so my parents lived on a farm and still do, and so literally walking outside my front door, I've always had horses around me, so I've been very fortunate. And I rode inconsistently up until I was 9, and then found the RDA, which was just an absolute game changer for me, and they really kind of put me in the right direction and showed me what equestrian could be for somebody with a disability, and obviously then you know that I saw the Paralympics, and I guess it's just been, the RDA was such a great platform to start on, and they really supported me, and Paralympic dressage has come on so much in the, God, this makes me feel really old, 23 years since I've started, and I couldn't have done it without them, and I certainly wouldn't be here now if it wasn't for all of the support that I've had from the RDA and the likes of Lee and all of the other riders that have inspired me.
And I know you mentioned earlier as well that you're also a new mum, got your beautiful little boy.
He's over there.
What's it been like balancing being an athlete at the very top of your game, a top athlete, and also being a new mum? What's that balance been like, and how do you do it?
I'm still finding out. I'm still learning. We haven't done a competition yet.
Don't worry, you've got another 18 years to figure it out.
Yeah. Probably the rest of my life to try and figure it out. But it's going well. We had our first team training last month. My mum is amazing. She's not here, so she won't hear that I'm saying all of these amazing things, but I literally couldn't do the riding and being a mum without my mum. Obviously my husband as well, who
shout out
to my hubby. I couldn't do it without him. I offered him, although he's slightly regretting it, I think. I said, do you want to come and be babysitter at London International, or do you want my mum to? And he was like, no, I love London International, I'll come and do it. And then yesterday, Joshua didn't sleep for 5 hours and was literally screaming because he was so overstimulated. And then he was like, I really wish your mum had come.
It's a bit different being at London with a child.
Yeah, literally got woken up by like 20 elves coming out of a lift. But anyway, I digress. really finding a system at home and working out, like just training, everything's just so different. And I chose to breastfeed as well, so trying to work that in as well with trying to train and everything. It's been new, but I think having a disability and growing up with a disability, you have to be adaptable from day one, and you have to work around things. And I think I've got a super laid-back attitude, and I just take things as they come and work things out as and when they happen. And so that's kind of how I'm taking parenthood.
As you should. It sounds very relaxed. I know my mum was nearly as so relaxed as you were. But are you looking forward to the Grand Prix freestyle tonight?
I am, yes. I'm very, very excited. We had a great time in the Grand Prix last night. Amazing, amazing class. So freestyle's always my favourite. I just think it's so lovely to be able to watch the horses dance, and I just think it shows much more of the riders' personalities, the fact that they get to choose their music and put that obviously to their choreography. And I just find it so interesting to see how they come up with their floor plans and really play to the horses' strengths and trying to hide those weaknesses as well. I just think it's really fascinating to watch.
And as a gold medal winner, what sort of thing are you looking at for our combinations tonight?
I think, fundamentally dressage is all about harmony, right? So you want to see the horses and the riders really, really working together and creating a gorgeous picture. And as I said, I think it's really about working that music and really telling a story in a freestyle. I think it's really important to have that beginning, the middle and the end, and really build up to the end to have an amazing crescendo finish. And I just think, when a rider really gets it right, you get those goosebumps and that amazing feeling. I'm an emotional person. I mean, I was emotional before I had Joshua. I'm 10 times worse now. And I also do quite a bit of commentary. And so trying not to cry whilst I'm commentating is my new #1 goal.
If anyone sees Natasha crying tonight,
literally
just ignore her, she's fine.
But yeah, I think when you see a beautiful freestyle ridden, it's really hard not to get emotional because it is beautiful to watch.
Well, I'll certainly be looking forward to it, and don't worry, I'll ignore you if you cry, it's fine. So, does anyone have any questions for Natasha before we start wrapping it up? Have we got a question at the front there? Yeah? Once again, I'm just going to throw myself off the stage.
Who was your first pony, and were you always into dressage?
So I wasn't into dressage until I knew what dressage was back when I saw it in Sydney. But yeah, as soon as I saw it, I think I'm quite a perfectionist myself, and so it really resonates with me to try and do the best that I can in dressage. And so I think that really fits me, and I like dressing up in the outfit and everything. My first pony, so the first pony that I rode was Forrester at my local RDA group. He was 6 years old when I first started riding him, and sadly he passed away last year, but he had an amazing long life and taught lots and lots of other para riders how to ride and gave them their first opportunities at national championships, which was amazing. But my first actual horse that I owned was called Charlie, and he was very, very naughty. Oh, is that your first horse as well? Oh, so it's a good one. But yeah, he was very, very naughty. He bucked me off a lot, but hopefully your Charlie doesn't do that.
Charlie sounds like quite the character. And then we've got another question over here as well.
Hi Tash, nice to meet you. Just a question for you. Obviously the Olympics is next year. What's the major plan for you after that?
After Paris, as Mark put you up to this, I would like another baby. So yeah, I would like to get pregnant again fairly soon after Paris, have baby #2, and then see what happens after that. Thanks, Sam.
Yes, thank you, Sam.
That's what mates are for, right?
And then do we have any more questions?
Hi Tash. So you're also an amazing doing the commentary here at London. I just wanted to know sort of how you have gone from obviously being an incredible Paralympian to now obviously doing the FEI commentary.
winging it, basically. I got the call up in 2017 to commentate on the Para-European Championships, and I unfortunately lost my horse that year, so I wasn't competing in it myself. And really enjoyed doing it. I love talking, if you couldn't tell, and I love talking about horses. It's obviously something that I'm really passionate about. And then from that, they asked me if I'd like to do some commentary for World Cup dressage, and so I started on the 2017-2018 World Cup circuit, and they've fortunately asked me back every single year. Now I'm doing it on my own, which is probably more scary than riding. It's really difficult, I think, because obviously I love what I do and I love talking about dressage, but you're talking about the best riders in the world, yourself included, and it's it's really tough, because obviously you want to say all of the highlights and all of the things that the riders are doing so beautifully, but the listeners also want to know why they're not getting 10s for every movement. So it's really good to get that balance, and hopefully I don't upset any riders, but yeah, I really enjoy doing it, and so hopefully it's something that I'll be able to carry on for a long time yet.
I've actually got a question now as well. Do you ever get worried that you might say the wrong thing just to fill the silence?
Oh my God, all the time. But I've really learned, and I think, obviously the more you do something, the more you learn, that actually the silence doesn't matter, and you can take in, I think especially with a sport like dressage, you can take in the beauty of the sport, and it doesn't actually matter that you're silent. However long you're silent for, actually it feels like a long time to you, but it's not when you're listening, and so I try and listen back to myself quite a lot and learn from listening back, really, and from my mate Sam.
Good old mate Sam. Have we got any more questions from the audience? Anyone at all? It looks like they've all gone shy.
It's probably because I give 10-minute long answers.
Well, they're very good answers though, we'll let you off. Right then, so thank you so much, Natasha.
Thank you.
It's been absolutely wonderful having you. We're looking forward to hearing all of your commentary
Thank
this
you very
evening.
much. Thank you.
Will you be staying the rest of the weekend as well?
I will be here tomorrow morning, and then I'm going to hopefully beat the M25 traffic tomorrow and head home, do some Christmas shopping and make my Christmas cake, which I'm really late doing now.
Good luck with that one.
Thank you.
So once again, thank you so much. Get a round of applause for Natasha.
Thank you all.
So everyone, make sure you don't head off too quickly. Next up, we will have Ruby Hughes here in the live zone, and I'll get her chatting all about how she has ended up here today, where she is now. Hughes, Ruby, how are we doing today?
I'm really good, thank you. I've just come from a demo, and well, I'd like to call her my horse, but it's my mum's horse, Flamboyant. She was amazing, so yeah, really good day.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about the demo? I know you've literally got off a horse and then come running straight here. So tell us a little bit about what you've been up to.
Well, I was doing a demo about 5 minutes ago, but I was on my mum's horse, who we decided to bring. She has competed up to Grand Prix, but she can get a little bit nervous sometimes, and I haven't actually ridden her since the summer. I haven't even sat on her, so it was slightly throwing me in the deep end, but thankfully she was a very good girl. She gets quite excited, but she kept her nerves down, and she's a gorgeous horse. I love riding her, so it was an amazing opportunity.
Well, not only is she a gorgeous horse, but we all know what a fantastic rider you are. I know you've just ridden your very first Grand Prix. Tell us a little bit about that. How did that feel?
I'm not going to lie, so I was only 15 when I did the Grand Prix. I did turn 16 on Saturday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. But I'm not going to lie, I mean, the movements came up so quick. I was mind blown, but the horse I was riding, Goldstrike, we've had him since he was a 4-year-old, so I know him very well. I mean, years ago I used to vault on him, and if you guys don't know what vaulting is, it's basically gymnastics and dance on horseback. So I used to do cartwheels and handstands and all of that jazz.
So he's obviously a very good boy.
Very good boy, but I mean, he really held my hand around the test, and he really showed me it, and I love that horse so much, really a heart horse.
Oh, bless him. And actually, asking about that, you said you used to do vaulting on him. How does the relationship between vaulting and dressage work? Do you find doing one helps the other?
Most definitely, for all those young riders out there, it really improved my balance. And also the fact that a lot of young riders, when they start riding, they almost want to hold on to the reins for balance. Though because we're vaulting, I mean, you've got no reins. You have to put all your trust into the lunge room. You've got to be able to stand up on those horses without holding on to anything and be really independent. So for me, that was amazing, because now when I ride, I have my core strength and I don't have to hold on to the reins for my balance, which a lot of people find is really difficult. And of course, like, just really getting to know the horses as well. For me, with Gold Strike, it was amazing.
I mean, obviously you've got quite the passion for vaulting as well. How do you actually choose between dressage and vaulting?
Well, I actually did quit vaulting around a year ago, unfortunately, with the dressage and the vaulting, because I was competing at a really high level. I was doing both internationally. The competitions did really start to clash, though. I mean, it was a really hard decision, though, for me, because both my parents did the dressage. It was really, vaulting was a hobby and dressage was really the career that I wanted to take.
And speaking about the career that you wanted to take, I know 2 years ago you said that the main aim in your life is to get that gold at the Olympics. Is that still the case, or are we seeing a different career path? So I know you just said you've only just turned 16. You've got quite a few years ahead of you yet.
I mean, I think it's everyone's goal, and if that came true, then oh my goodness, that would be incredible. But
you'd be allowed to die happy after
exactly, I will retire after that. But I mean, of course it's the main aim, but for me, I just want to carry on riding the horses. I love it so much, and it really is my passion. And to be able to have that connection with the horses for me is the most important thing. But I won't say no to an Olympic gold medal.
Well, neither will I, so feel free to get me one as well. And then speaking about doing your first Grand Prix, I know you've been to Europeans quite a few times. You've got quite a few Europeans underneath your belt now. Are we just going to skip straight to under 25's Grand Prix?
To be honest, I am thinking about it. There's View, a high profile at the start of the year, and I was thinking about giving it a bash. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what happens. I'll try my best. Gold Strike will try his best, and I mean, it could go really well, or I could forget how to ride, which does happen sometimes.
I've never heard anything more relatable in my life. So, going through, I know quite a few people might not necessarily know what all the different levels mean. So I know you've been to literally, it feels like every level in the Europeans. Why don't you talk the audience through today what the different levels are when you get to Europeans, right from ponies?
So you actually start with children horses, which a lot of people forget about because it's not the biggest part in GB. There's not a lot of riders in it, but I actually did start on children horses from it's the age from 12 to 14. And it's around elementary level, and you can do that on a horse. You can do it on ponies, so you can't go up to the Europeans on the pony, and then it goes up to the pony FEI level, which I did on my mare Lola, Hilton Showgirl. So that's from the age of 12 to 16, and then you go up again to juniors, which is of course with a horse again. So that's from the age of 14 to 18, I think. Yeah, and then you go up to young riders, which I also did this year, and which is from the age of 16 to 21, and then of course up to U25 again, which is, I'm pretty sure, the age of 16 to 25. Yeah, and then of course seniors.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you, Ruby, it sounds like we might be seeing you here in the Senior World Cup next year. Is that the sort of thing you might be looking at?
I mean, I have to give my dad a chance. He's going to have to steal the horse because it is his horse at the end of the day. But I mean, and my mum's. My mum's pointing herself.
Plenty of chance, though.
Exactly. We'll see, because then again, sometimes I do forget to ride, so it depends how good I get.
Depends on how you feel at the time. Do we have any questions from the audience for Ruby today? Oh, we've got one in the front.
If you weren't going to do dressage, what would you choose as a career?
I think, of course, the vaulting, it really does have, like, a bit, I still love the sport so much. It was quite scary, but it really did test me, and I still have a massive love for the sport, and yeah, definitely vaulting.
I've got a question now as well. But if you couldn't do anything to do with horses, then what would you do?
Now that's a very, very hard question because I've not really thought about it. I think a lawyer would be quite interesting because I'm quite good at arguing my point.
Excellent. Do we have any more questions from the audience? Anybody at all? Oh, we've got one. Sorry, I'm like semi-blind.
What's your highest dressage score? Well, I have got up to 79%. Not quite got the 80 yet, but 79, but we're working towards the 80.
Okay, we're going to make your dad sweat, aren't we?
Oh yeah, definitely. He can't watch me compete, he gets so nervous.
Do you find he actually gets more nervous than you do?
Oh, most definitely. I get a bit nervous before I get on, but as soon as I'm on my horse, my nerves go, because I just know at the end of the day, horses can be so unpredictable, and whatever happens, we both try our best, and it is what it is.
As long as you remember how to ride.
Oh God, that I do forget quite often.
And it sounds like your mum's also as cool as a cucumber. We've mentioned your dad getting really nervous.
Oh no, my mum gets nervous too.
Is she worse than your dad?
Yeah, no, my dad's definitely the worst. Even though he's done all the Europeans, the Worlds, he was reserved at the Olympics, but he can't take me riding.
Well, there we have it, guys. Gareth has been outed as a nervous wreck. So do we have any more questions from the audience? We've got a hand up over here.
Petrified. And I just remember my dad would have me on the lead rein, he'd be like, oh, tootling along, and he'd suddenly leg it down the long side trying to make this pony canter, and she would not canter, so I'd be bouncing away in the saddle. It's this massive trot which my little 12-hand pony was doing.
Oh, that sounds hilarious. My Shetland did that too.
Oh wow.
More like a sewing machine though. Do we have a last question from the audience? We do, right in the back here, and then we'll wrap it up.
I've always ridden. I mean, my mum was riding almost until the day she gave birth to me, so I was literally born into horses. Though I only really started properly with the dressage in 2020 when I first got my dressage horse, but I've always been obsessed with the horses.
So we'll definitely be seeing you doing horses for the rest of your life.
Oh, definitely, I'm hooked.
Well, thank you so much, Ruby. You've been an absolute pleasure to talk to. You can feel free now to head back to your horse and get him settled. I don't know if you've just abandoned him in the arena. But no, can we get a round of applause for Ruby Hughes, guys? So thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the freestyle this evening.
Thank you, and I can't wait.
Thank you so much, Webb.
Is there any particular significance behind it? I believe you call him Miles. Is there any particular significance behind it, or is that just because you didn't want to dress as the horse?
No, I called him Miles because after I got the horse, I thought, right, we need a name for him. So I did put it out on Instagram and things, you know, to people to suggest names, and Miles came up a few times because they were saying, you know, for the journey you're making and the miles you're going. So it just stuck. So he became Miles.
So after doing all those interviews, it was thirsty work, so we had to go and get a glass before the Grand Prix freestyle. I was so excited. This is the event of the year, and I was coming off such a buzz from doing my first official interviewing capacity on stage.
finished watching the freestyle. We're going to head home now. It is time to quickly get the train before the trains are all finished. Now, I have to say, that was absolutely amazing. We just saw Lottie Fry, first ever time riding that brand new freestyle on Everdale. Bit of pink, not something I would have thought of, but something I'm definitely thinking of now because it was so good. So now we're going to head home, get some sleep, and ready for another fresh day tomorrow.
So day 3, my third and final day at the London International Horse Show, dawned bright and early. We travelled in by train and tube again before going on the hunt for breakfast. Now, we've been talking about getting chocolate covered strawberries for the past 3 days. So we went for the nice, healthy, athlete approved breakfast. They were honestly so stunning. Then we headed into the shopping village to see if I could get any last minute Christmas presents and also blow my own Christmas money. And I saw these gorgeous custom bridles that I think would look amazing on Ella, and if we did like some sort of Game of Thrones photo shoot, I just think that'd be so totally cool. I then also finally made my very first purchase, which was a scarf for £10. You cannot go wrong with that. And then I got the exact same thing for lunch as I got yesterday because it slapped. Settling in to watch some of the afternoon performance, we caught the tail end of the Shetland Pony Grand National, and oh my gosh, they are so cute. And if you can see the little chestnut Shetland, that is actually another Bed Down brand ambassador double, and it was so cute just seeing them all running around. And the little jockeys, they knew how to work a crowd. Look at them, they know exactly what they're doing.
Going forward into the future as well.
So after some amazing combinations had jumped clear, I decided to get first and second place in the jump off and put them side by side so you can see how truly close it was. Max Kuhner gave Ben Mayer a real run for his money.
Okay then everyone, that is all from me today. I am just signing off from the London International Horse Show. I've had an absolutely brilliant 3 days. Can't thank the team at London enough for having me, inviting me, and letting me do my best Graham Norton impressions up on stage, being able to present and interview people. It was genuinely so much fun. So I super hope you enjoyed watching this video. You already know that I super enjoyed making this video for you guys. And until next time guys, from me and all the horses and London itself, it is goodbye.